welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, July 14th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, we visit Norwood's new swap shop. Summer baseball is in full swing. But first, town officials and members of the community gathered at Memorial Hall to witness the swearing in of newly appointed Fire Chief Tim Bailey. Bailey comes from Walpole after serving as chief for over 18 years. Board of Selectmen Chairman Matt Lane led with opening remarks.
He said that he likes to work, spend time with his family, and work on his yard. So it sounded like Bill Plasko to me. But we mostly talked about family, and I think that was really important to hear because it means to me that the chief is really grounded, and that's the impression that I got in spending time with him, that just a very even-keeled approach to public safety. And that's really reassuring as a citizen, as a member of the Board of Selectmen.
Chief Bailey is ready to get to work and explains what the community can expect from him.
Just a challenge. Everything about it is just very intriguing and very exciting for me, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I bring a specific skill set of being a chief for 18 and a half years, and I have a lot of resources that are at my disposal, and I think that'll all come in very handy and helpful with the Norwood Fire Department.
The community garden is in full bloom. Located on Mylord Street, Susan Clare explains the big changes this year and who was able to make it happen.
Hello, I'm Susan Clare of the Norwood Community Garden. We're going into our 12th year here, and having started with 32 family plots the first year, this year we have expanded and we now have 88 households gardening with us for themselves and for the food pantry. Donations are made weekly to the food pantry and delivered there by volunteers in the garden. Last year we were able to send several hundred pounds of produce to the food pantry. That's the food pantry's estimate because they weigh things as they come in. The garden is entirely organic, and we are located on conservation land, which also requires organic. But this year, because we needed to expand, having a very long waiting list, the Conservation Commission stepped in and said, we will refence the garden, including the new expansion. I could not have raised that much money on such short notice by writing long grants that would take a long time to get approved. So I was grateful. And then Mark Ryan of DPW stepped up and said my assistant, Chris Cassavant, is going to coordinate installing that fence and putting in new water lines as you need them for the new extension. And while we were slow getting started because of trying to acquire the necessary materials and equipment, it got done in time for us to begin planting pretty much as we usually do in the spring. So we're very excited about all of it. I want to thank all of these people, and then there is someone very special that we want to thank, and I'm going to let Teresa Petrucci take care of that.
So with our recent expansion here at the Norwood Community Garden, we realized how important it was to identify each of the individual plots. So we reached out to Blue Hills Regional Technical School and worked with Brian Gertie, who's the lead teacher of the metal fabrication shop. Him and his students made each of these individual markers. We're happy to say that they're sustainable, eco-friendly, which is what we're all about here at the garden. So thank you, Blue Hills and Mr. Brian Gertie.
Coming up on Norwood News, we learn about the new swap shop, and Megan Corbett fills in for Ron Marshalsea in sports.
I'm author Mitchell Zuckoff, and as part of the Morrill Memorial Library Stuart Plumer Author Series, I recently discussed my career as a journalist and an author, and also my latest book, The Secret Gate. The Stuart Plumer Author Series is being presented in memory of avid reader Stuart Plumer, who served on the Board of Trustees of the Morrill Memorial Library for 33 years. This is an ongoing series that will provide you with the opportunity to meet award-winning and best-selling authors as they discuss their latest books.
On Monday, July 24th at 6:30 p.m., best-selling novelist Anita Diamond will be in conversation with Library Director Clayton Cheever discussing her body of literary work. Registration is required for this in-person event. Sign up at norwoodlibrary.org or call the reference desk at 781-769-0200, extension 2.
Looking to recycle some old furniture or stuff you no longer need? Well, next time you go to the Winter Street landfill, check out the Swap Shop. Norwood resident Debbie Homewood, with the help of DPW, started this idea of dropping off what you don't need and maybe finding something you like in the process.
There is a new initiative at the town landfill that helps town residents stay green and keep items out of the trash. Only a month old, it is already a big success.
This is the swap shop here at the Winter Street facility. It's for residents to drop off anything that's in good condition that they believe another resident would like to come in, pick up. You do not have to drop off to pick up or pick up to drop off. It's open to the public every Saturday between 8 and 1 o'clock. It's been, for the last 4 weeks, this is our 4th week, it's been a giant success. It's been packed every Saturday. The goal of the swap shop is, first and foremost, keep a lot of materials that don't need to put into the trash and recycling stream out there. Saves the town some money, and it also helps any residents that need anything that they may not have.
Organizer, roadside picker, and member of the town planning board, Debbie Homewood, has seen the idea in other communities and helped bring it to Norwood.
Most of the other towns have swap shops, treasure hunts, whatever they call them, and the DPW has agreed to let us do this because we're just trying to keep things out of the dump stream. I happen to be a roadside picker. I love to repurpose things, and I think it's great. It's all free, and it's not going in the dump. So we work with the DPW, we have parking spots, we have a shed, we even are going to have an electric cord so we can check and see if some of these small electronics work.
The swap shop is completely staffed by volunteers and could use a little help.
The people working the shack are not your tax dollars, we're volunteers. We need volunteers, we're here from 8 to 1, and we are not adding to your tax base by using DPW guys to give away free stuff. People are nice, fun. If you want to volunteer, please call Town Hall, they'll give you my number. You can do an hour, 2 hours. I need volunteers. I can't be here every Saturday because I'm sweating. No. And I need lunch. Bring me food.
Well, the swap shop, I think, is the bomb. It's been here a good 3 weeks. I drop off, clean my house. I take one thing. That's it. I can only take one thing if my husband's around. Beautiful stuff. Look at this. Free. You can't get any better than that. One person's trash is another person's treasure. Everybody drop off and pick up. Come on down.
It is rewarding for Homewood to see less trash going in the landfill and seeing residents driving away with their new, old treasures.
I feel like we've accomplished something. Like we have kept all of this out of the landfill. If you really believe in green, I gotta stop throwing stuff in the trash.
The recreation camp is a summer staple for so many of Norwood's youth. Let's learn a little about the camp at Father Mac's Playground and Pool.
So here we are at Father Mac's. We have 130 kids this summer at Father Mac's. Typically the 2 camps would have been spread out, one at the Coakley and one here at Father Mac's, but due to the middle school construction, we are all here at Father Mac's and it has been going pretty smoothly. We're lucky to have a lot of space here, and from the playgrounds to the pools to the soccer fields, the kids are having a blast at Father Mac's, all 130 of them. A typical day at Father Mac's with the campers starts with a little morning meeting, a meet and greet, and the kids play some big group games, dodgeball, gaga ball. They play soccer, they play backstop, which they will play for hours on end, and then they break for a snack. Some of the kiddos like to do arts and crafts. GIMP and friendship bracelets have been going on for like at least 30 years. The kids continue to love that. And then the always favorite is pool time. So the kids are cooling off. It's been a little bit of a rainy summer, but we've still managed to get some pool time in there.
So we have the pool here at Father Max, and it's open to all Norwood residents. You can either buy a day pass or you can buy a whole summer pass at the Civic Center. And per person, it's only $5 to come swim all day. And that includes kids. It's 3.5 feet deep, so kids can stand. It's a nice little family pool, never gets too busy. It's a nice place to cool off.
So that's a few of the things that we're up to. And then along with that, each week we have a theme. So the start of the summer was Norwood Pride Week, where the kids were encouraged to dress in their favorite Norwood gear. Last week, of course, being 4th of July, was Red, White, and Blue Week. And this week we are at Shark Week. So we're having a jawsome Shark Week so far. You're gonna be
And now we're going to toss it over to Megan Corbett with sports.
I'm Megan Corbett, filling in for Ron this week, and this is your sports update. It is official. The 2023 Babe Ruth Town Champions are the Rangers, coached by Steve Klein, Pete Bellinger, Mike Dooley, and Matt Hajar. The Rangers won the best-of-3 series 2-0 after getting the win last Saturday night. NCM was at this one, where commentators Joey Desmarais and Shane Delamere were both once former rivals on these two teams. Joey being a Dodger and Shane being a Ranger. The Dodgers came out early, doing their best to send this game to 3, but this game was back and forth all 7 innings. The Rangers eventually took the lead and kept it until the final out. The Rangers' Mike McDonough was doing everything, getting a double, pitching, everything. In district news, the Norwood 13s went 2-2 to qualify for the single elimination rounds. The 13s played Dedham in the preliminary round Monday night, where they lost a tough battle 5-3. Joe Rofi pitched 4 strong innings, Luke Walsh pitched 2, and Nolan Golding closed it out. Norwood had 10 hits and left 8 runners on base. They played a tough game. Hats off to Dedham, who played an awesome game. The Norwood 14s were not able to advance to the single elimination round, losing 3 games and only winning 1. The 14 summer ball season is underway, coached by Bobby Griffin. The Norwood 15s, coached by legend Lighty, played Revere Tuesday evening and lost, and they're eliminated from the tournament. The Norwood Senior Babe Ruth team, coached by the entire Rangers staff, travels to New Hampshire next weekend to represent Massachusetts in the regional playoffs. They are 8-1 with their first game versus Connecticut on the 22nd. And finally, the Norwood Legion Post-70 team, coached by Paul Smargidelis, lost Wednesday night to Medfield 6-1. But they made the tournament with a little help from Natick, who lost their game. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Megan Corbett. In Norwood News, we'll be right back after this break.
On Monday night, the middle school building committee met at the Savage Center. In addition to discussing the possibility of moving the MSBC meetings up an hour, there was information given about the inclusion of loading docks during the budget update for the project.
Budget update. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. This is a less formal version of what we're going to start to do now that we're in construction, and each month we'll provide a budget status update, highlight any cost forecasts or any type of cost impact items as the project develops as we go further. But this is just a high-level summary. There's one key item that's evolved over the last month or so since the last meeting, which is incorporation of 2 loading docks into the design, which were not in the GMP design. And we've been working with the Rich team to quantify what we think that cost will be, and right now we have an order of magnitude target of approximately $700,000. That's not the final number. We're revising We're reviewing the detail that's been provided to make sure that that's accurate and we get a true final complete number. So right now this is an order of magnitude, just a forecast. And with that being said, there is some scope that impacts the start of foundations and the site work that's upcoming. Most critical would be the helical rammed aggregate pier installation in Zone C, which is where one of the docks is located. That's actually scheduled to start next week. So the reason we're raising this tonight, Mr. Chairman, is to see if the committee wants to move forward with the loading docks, and if so, the immediate action for tonight would be approval of the rammed aggregate pier added cost, which is the $11,760 to support that scope into the project.
Okay. So what do we need to approve today if we're going to approve anything? What's necessary?
So the only immediate approval would be the additional rammed aggregate pier work, which is the $11,760 to support the loading dock in Zone C, which is the north end of the building. If you're looking at the design, your plan right.
11,760. Okay.
11,760 is the would be the approval needed tonight if you want to move forward with the loading dock scope.
Because as I understand it, you're still, the professional team is still working with the contractor, to try to come up with a number, because, we first heard the number, and, after our chairs dropped, we had some discussion about that. So you're going to see, you're going to justify in your own mind, what that number should be.
And we haven't been able to do that yet, Mr. Chairman. We've only received the order of magnitude, which tends to be more conservative, and we've asked for all of the project detail that would go into that number so we can get an accurate forecast. So this is just a very round order of magnitude based on the input to date.
Yeah, Paul, could you sort of talk briefly about why you think we need the loading docks?
I don't think we can adequately function as a facilities group inside that building without the loading docks. The compactors are top loaded, and they go up to the top of the loading dock. You can throw the stuff in instead of throwing it up and in from the ground. Most trucks show up without automatic tail lifts to make adjustments to get down. It will just make shipping and receiving much more difficult. And trash removal much more difficult.
And you generally receive materials at least every day, I'm assuming.
Every day. And one dock will be much more busier than the other dock. The dock with food services is going to be probably the busiest dock. The other dock is basically, it's a very long building. It's going to help save time from the custodians lugging trash from one end of the building to the other end of the building. That's why we've got two trash compactors.
The Zoning Board of Appeals held 4 public hearings Tuesday night at the Norwood Senior Center. 15 Irving Street, 92 Union Street, 118 Monroe Street, and 4 to 6 Savin Ave all requested special permits. All permits were approved. However, the hearing for 92 Union Street was tabled and reopened after there was a question in the exact square footage to an addition that would be constructed on the property. After some clarification from attorney Harold Raymond, the addition would be in excess of 3,000 square feet. The Zoning Board approved this plan and closed the hearing. The Zoning Board will meet again next month. Library Director Clayton Cheever is excited to talk about all the events and activities happening at the Morrill Memorial Library this month.
Greetings from the Morrill Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. I'm Clayton Cheever. I use he, his pronouns, and I'm your library director. I'd like to tell you about a few things happening here at the library this July. It was great to see everyone who came out to celebrate Norwood's 3rd annual Pride Picnic last month and our 2nd annual Juneteenth celebration. It was a little rainy this year at Juneteenth, but it certainly did not dampen our spirits, and we had a great time. We have a special story time happening on July 31st when we're partnering with local organization Story Starters on a program called Noticing and Naming Skin Color. Story Starters uses children's literature to give families the tools and support to talk about race and racism and to engage in family-centered social justice conversations and actions. This story time will include an art project and is geared towards children ages 3 to 5. Registration is required, so please go online, call, or visit us to reserve your spot while there is still one available. A program for adults that I want to bring to your attention is the next in our Stuart Plumer author series. On Monday evening, July 24th, acclaimed author Anita Diamant will join us for an engaging conversation about her books of fiction and nonfiction. You likely know her from her classic work, The Red Tent, and also likely from her 2014 book, The Boston Girl, about a young Jewish woman growing up in Boston in the early 20th century. An award-winning journalist, Anita's work has appeared in works as diverse as the Boston Globe, Hadassah, Parenting, The Wall Street Journal, and Yankee Magazine. She grew up in Newark and Denver, which is also my hometown, so I'm super excited to get to engage her in what I'm sure will be a very wide-ranging conversation about her life's work and passions. We present the Stuart Plumer Author Series in memory of avid reader and dear friend of the Morrow Memorial Library, Stuart Plumer, who served on our Board of Trustees for 33 years. Registration is required for this in-person event, so please call us, visit us, or simply go online and reserve your seat today while seats are still available. We are very excited to announce our expanded hours this month. Starting after Independence Day, the library will be open 7 days a week from 9 to 9 Monday through Thursday, from 10 to 5 on Fridays, 9 to 5 every Saturday, and 1 to 5 every Sunday. We realize life is not constrained to the hours we're open or the walls of this building, and neither are our services. Our online resources, accessible through our website and mobile apps, are available 24 hours a day from anywhere you can access the internet. Every month, I enjoy highlighting different online resources you can get for free. Concert season's upon us. A great way to get excited for it is to watch some great recordings of musical performances on Quello, spelled Q-E-L-L-O. It's now available through the Libby app. From the homepage in the app, simply scroll down to the Extras section and you'll find Quello Concerts. Follow the link to get a 7-day unlimited watching pass, and you can immediately start watching everything from an exclusive recording of the Red Hot Chili Peppers performing at Bonnaroo, the Foo Fighters live at Glastonbury, to an orchestra and band joining Hans Zimmer live in Prague for an incredible performance of some of his immersive soundscapes. Quello has a lot of different styles of music, so I hope you'll go check it out today. I've brought some books with me today that I'm excited to tell you about. July is National Ice Cream Month, so I strongly encourage you to check out Ice Cream Face by Heidi Woodward Sheffield. Remember the wide range of emotions that we experience, especially when we're quite young and waiting in line for delicious ice cream? As far as this ice cream-loving kid's concerned, every meal should include ice cream. In any form, in every flavor. He loves it all. But what he doesn't love is seeing other people with ice cream while he's still waiting in line for his. There is nothing as sweet as ice cream, except the kids who love it. If you enjoy reading teen books, I think you'll have an easy time diving into this great debut novel, Viva Lola Espinosa by Ella Soron. Think Pride and Prejudice with a dash of magic. This is a story about a book-smart teen spending the summer in Mexico City, meeting two very cute boys, trying to learn Spanish, and uncovering a family secret that changes her life forever. I've also brought a couple books for more experienced readers. Our Adult Summer Reading Bingo Challenge is kicking off on July 1st, and we're excited to challenge you to read widely and fill up your card. These next two books will help you complete some squares, and you can use book titles up to twice per card. Some of the squares are super easy, like visiting the library, listening to a new song, and experiencing a piece of art, and others will take a little more time, but with wise choices, they can help you take your summer to the next level. Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse is an exciting work of speculative fiction about survivors of a climate apocalypse encountering gods and heroes of legend as well as monsters. This author, with indigenous roots, set the story in Dinetah, formerly the Navajo Reservation, and it's infused with lots of rich Native American elements. This other book I've brought can be used for several of the bingo squares, so you'll have to choose. It's by Crystal and Tom Rasmussen and would satisfy the LGBTQ+ author box, the book about a current event, and the debut author boxes on your bingo card. This is a nonfiction book titled Diary of a Drag Queen, and it's a pretty wild read. I think this recommendation from Crystal is a fun way to dive in. She said, "I hope people like me will read this and feel seen and loved by it. I hope people who aren't like me will enjoy it, laugh with it, learn from it. And I hope people who don't like me will file lawsuits just so I can wear my brand new leopard print skirt suit and bust them in court." If that sounds like someone you'd enjoy spending some time with, I hope you'll pick this one up this summer. Now, I could talk about books all day, but we have so much more here at the library. If you're traveling with your family or gathering with friends and wondering what to do if you encounter a rainy day or are looking for something different to do at night, I encourage you to check out our collection of games you can borrow. One that I had a lot of fun playing with friends on a special birthday retreat this year is called Library. This is a great game for a group of people who enjoy reading. You take turns being the librarian who selects a card and reads the title and description of a real book. Then each player writes down what they think would be a good first line for that book, while the librarian writes down the actual first line. Then the librarian reads all the lines aloud, and each person has to decide which they think is the actual first line. When you guess the real one, you get a point. When someone else guesses your creative first line, you also get a point. And you can choose whether or not you even want to keep score. This is just one of our many games you can borrow and try out with your friends. I encourage you to borrow a few so that you increase your chances of finding the game that's just right for your crowd. One of Norwood's hidden treasures is our library of things, and these games are just one example of the many things we have in our collection. I encourage you to check out our library of things online to get inspired for all the ways you can benefit from our shared treasures. This has been a Moral Moment. From everyone here at the library, I wish you and yours a safe and happy July. We look forward to seeing you in the library.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.